So I guess I'll do like life updates. I want to try and do life updates at the beginning of all my YouTube videos. Um, but I am moving, which I'm really excited about. I'm kind of like a little bit sad, but mostly excited because I'm moving to the farm that I work at. They have a studio apartment on the farm that just opened up, and I was next in line to move in there. So I'm really, really excited. It's going to be way cheaper, and the horses will be right there, and I'll get to see the horses every single day. But yeah, they needed somebody to do the night checks because in the winter you have to go into the barn. The horses are in overnight, so somebody has to like check on them in the middle of the night, make sure they're all good. So I'm the guy now, and I'm very excited about it. Um, what else? I don't know. It's been kind of. I've been really, really excited about it, and then this week it kind of just hit me like the apartment that I'm in now was. I've been here since I was 18. This is like where I first moved out with my ex girlfriend, and which she is still a friend, but it's just kind of it's sad because we just broke up over the summer, and honestly, I'm like a little emotional about it. It's kind of weird. Like we lived here together for 3 years, and it's sad to let it go because obviously our relationship is over, but it's also weird moving on from the apartment because it's like this was our apartment, and I really thought like we were gonna be here longer, we were gonna be together longer. So I'm dealing with a lot of emotions right now, and on top of that, I just started EMDR, which for those who don't know, it's a very like intense, specialized type of trauma therapy where basically you desensitize yourself to like the emotional damage of your trauma. But honestly, it's been like really exhausting, and I've heard that from a lot of people. Like the first few sessions, it is really exhausting. So, um, it's kind of like one of those things where it gets worse before it gets better. But honestly, I'm really grateful. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I just never had the money to do it. So I'm very grateful that I have the resources to do it now because I think it's going to help. Like I've been in and out of talk therapy for so long, and it just doesn't do anything for me. I don't know if you can hear my neighbor's kids screaming outside. But anyways, all right, so let's actually get into the video. What I came here to talk about is I just had surgery 2.5 weeks ago, and I asked you guys for questions on Instagram, which I wrote them down because I film my YouTube videos on my phone because I'm just not. I don't have a nice camera like that, and I don't feel like figuring out how to do all that. So I wrote it down because I'm not fancy. But anyways, there's a lot of questions in here. There's a lot of repeat questions, so I kind of just condensed it down into a few things. Well, more than a few, but anyway, I'm gonna try and get through this. Uh, I'm not gonna like spend a lot of time on each question, if that makes sense. So, a lot of people wanted to know what the prerequisites were for surgery and what kind of blood testing they did. For me, I didn't have to have a letter from a psychologist, which I wasn't expecting that because I needed one to start testosterone, which is kind of ironic. I feel like getting top surgery is more permanent. But yeah, all I needed was a physical, which was ordered by my surgeon. I went to urgent care because I don't have a primary care doctor, and I just like they just did my physical, and that consisted of checking my heart and blood tests and like just the usual like checking your vital signs and stuff like that. I don't know what kind of blood tests they did. I would assume like cholesterol, testosterone, the normal ones that they do for my HRT. They took 2 vials of blood, but I never checked my orders to be honest with you, so I don't remember. I have no idea what they did. Were the pain meds scary, or was it scary taking such strong pain meds? So I was prescribed oxycodone, which obviously is an opioid, and I wasn't really worried about it. I'm not like at risk for addiction or anything like that, and it wasn't scary. Honestly, I was prescribed enough for a week. I only took it for 3 days because I was constipated, to be honest. Like, I want to tell people this. I was taking fiber supplements. I had Fiber One cereal. I was staying really, really, really hydrated, and I still got constipated, and I had to take like a really strong laxative. So, because I was thinking, I was like, oh, if I just keep up with these supplements, I'll be fine. It is no joke. Like, I never get constipated ever. Um, so like take that seriously. Just get a laxative. I would recommend if you don't poop the day after surgery, just take a laxative. Like don't let it don't let it fester for a few days, because it's gonna make you very constipated. That's how Elvis died. Don't be like Elvis. Are there any long term side effects? You will never have boobs ever again. But other than that, no, I don't. There's no long term side effects unless you get like an infection or if you have complications. But that's very rare. What insurance did you use? I have Cigna Allegiance, and they paid for like 80% of it, I think, and I only had to pay 2,500 United States dollars. What was the scariest moment? And then I also had somebody ask, what was your least favorite part? I wasn't really scared about the surgery, to be honest. I was expecting to get really nervous the day of, but I wasn't. I just kind of thought to myself in my head, like, I'm going to be asleep the whole time. It doesn't really matter. But the least favorite part of my surgery was when they had to put my IV in. And I talked about this in my previous video. They had a really hard time because I was so dehydrated. I had to fast the day before, and my veins were rolling and they couldn't get the needle in. And I, like, got really faint and I thought I was going to throw up. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then they got it on the third try and it was fine. But that was probably my least favorite part. Um, when did you know that you wanted top surgery, and are you scared that you're going to regret it? I am not scared I'm going to regret it. That was one thing. Like, I didn't always know that I was trans, but the second that I started puberty, I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. I hate my boobs. I never, ever, ever liked them. Like, I cannot think of a single time when I liked them. They always felt wrong on my body, and I always knew that I hated them, and I always wore like really tight sports bras and stuff like that. Um, so I feel like I've always known that. If I want top surgery, how do I get the process started? I would call your insurance company, or like maybe pick out a few surgeons and call your insurance company, um, to see which one they cover, and just kind of just get in contact with that surgeon, talk to them about. I think actually it would be easier to call the surgeon and ask what insurance they take. That's what I did actually. I picked out a surgeon first, and then I called them and I was like, "Hey, do you accept my insurance?" They were like, "Yeah, we do." So, um, I feel like that's easier because you want to like pick a surgeon that's good, right? Like choose somebody that you actually they have good results and you like them. That's what I did. Um, does feeling your scars make you nauseous? It doesn't. And I also want to tell people it hurts for the first like 5 days, and then after that you can't feel anything. Like you're numb, because of like your nerves are so damaged. So like if I, ugh, hold on, if I touch myself, I cannot feel this right now. I can't feel that. I can feel like up here, but like this area is my nerves are all damaged and I can't feel anything in that area. So it doesn't make me nauseous. My nipples are kind of grossing me out, which I wasn't expecting, but they're just like they're very bloody and not good looking right now, and I'm not worried about it cuz I know once they heal it'll be fine. But I don't get grossed out easily, but my nipples are like that makes me it doesn't make me nauseous, but it makes me a little like I don't want to look at that. I don't want to touch that right now. If that makes sense. Does it hurt during surgery? So you are knocked out. If you've never had anesthesia before, you're like in a coma. Like your body is completely shut down. So I don't remember anything of being in the operating room. So they do They do wake you up in the operating room, and I did, like, before I went under, I was like, where am I going to wake up? And they're like, you're going to wake up here, but you're not going to remember it. And I don't I don't remember waking up in the operating room. I remember waking up in like a recovery bay, um, just like in a bed. So, but like immediately when I woke up, I did feel pain, and it wasn't like, it was pretty bad. It was like a 7 out of 10 pain, I would say, but I still had like so much anesthesia in my system that you just feel really high and relaxed, and you're like, oh, I don't care. And then the second that you're like able to drink water safely, then they'll give you pain medication, and then it goes away in a couple hours. So, um, when will you go to the gym again? It depends on what my surgeon says. I'm hoping within 3 weeks if everything goes well. And honestly, it looks like my healing is going fine. So I think I should be good. Can you wipe? This is something that I was really scared about before surgery. But yes, I could. I was like really scared that I wasn't going to be able to. Obviously, you have to be really careful. And then also, I am not, I feel like if you're fat or if you're a bigger person, that might be difficult for you. So I know that they do have like a little thing that you can reach around with. I would Google that on Amazon because there are like tools that you can get to assist yourself, but I personally didn't have any problem with that. Can you walk us through how you felt day by day? Yes. So, um, the day of surgery, I was like obviously in bed. I would say for the first 3 days, I really didn't get out of bed. I think I could like get up and walk to the bathroom with no problem, or like get up and walk to the kitchen, but I wasn't standing for long periods of time. Actually, when I got out of the car after surgery and like walked inside from my apartment and like walked up the stairs into my apartment, I was like nauseous after. I think that I didn't drink enough or eat enough right after surgery, and that's why, but that was really difficult. So then after the first 3 days, like the really bad pain was over with. And then it was just really itchy until maybe like day 6 or 7. Um, and then at that point I felt physically well enough, but mentally I was like really depressed, and I was like, I don't want to get out of bed. Like, I can't do anything. This sucks. And then I think day 10 was when I was like, all right, I've had enough. And I went horseback riding, which I don't tell my surgeon that I did that. I needed to for my mental health. So I did, and it was fine. But yeah, so for me personally, after day 10, oh, and wait, when did I get my drains out? I got my drains out. I got the right one out after a week, and then the left one came out after 9 days, I think. And once the drains were out, I was like, I could do anything. I feel great. And I do now. I just can't lift my arms. Oh, I can't. Oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Oh no! Oh no! I can lift them. It feels like it. You feel your scars stretching a little bit, which it doesn't hurt. It almost feels like a sore muscle a little bit. I don't know. Um, did you get nipple grafts, and can you feel anything? Like I said, I can't feel shit. Like, I'm supposed to put Neosporin on my nipples every day, and when I do that, I can't feel them at all. Um, so yeah. How bad were the drains? They weren't as bad as I was expecting, to be honest. Um, there were a couple times where like they would fall out of my pocket and like pull a little bit on my side, and that didn't really hurt. They were like, I'm trying to think. I have such a bad memory too. This was like a week ago. Why can't I remember? The drains weren't bad. I think if you don't like blood, it might be more difficult for you. Um, I think the worst part about the drains was like I was freaking out because my left drain was draining like twice as much as my right drain. So I was like, oh my gosh, is something wrong? Am I going to get an infection? And it turned out to be fine. So I think, um, don't overthink it. You're going to drain differently. Chunks of flesh are going to come out of your drain, by the way. That's normal as long as you're not seeing like pus or like chunky kind of like obviously there's going to be pieces of flesh like I said, but it should be fluid. It should be very like it should flow through the drain easily. Um and then as the days go on, so like for the day of and the first 3 days it's going to be like pure blood, and then after that it's going to be like more like yellowish fluid. It should be somewhat clear, but it's okay if it's like a little bit yellow. Or mine was like kind of orange because it was fluid mixed with blood. So just like everybody drains differently. As long as it's not very clearly infected, you're fine. Uh, what? Did your insurance require you to be transitioning? They did not. And nobody, honestly, nobody asked me about. I don't know if they would have, though, because I feel like it's pretty obvious that I'm on testosterone, so I don't know. But no, nobody asked me that. Nobody required me to be transitioning to. Excuse me. Are your scars crooked? Yes, they are. I don't feel like taking all my stuff off and showing you right now. I'll put a picture in here or something like that. But yeah, they are crooked, and I think part of that is just that I'm not completely healed yet. But obviously, like I think I can't remember which side was bigger, but my surgeon during the consultation when I took my shirt off, he's like, "Okay, so your left is lower and bigger, and this one is smaller, and your nipple is crooked, and da da da." And I was like, "Oh my god, damn!" It was like I stuff that I didn't notice before. Um, but yeah, like since you're not perfectly symmetrical, so the scars are not going to come out perfectly symmetrical. I'm pretty happy with them. I think they look great, and then obviously they're going to change as they heal. So right now I'm not like I don't really have an opinion about my scars. Like I'm just kind of waiting to see how they heal, if that makes sense. Is your chest sensitive or painful? Not anymore. Like I said, I really don't have a lot of feeling. The other day I did. Don't tell my surgeon. I went horseback riding again, and the whole ride I was like being really careful and really like mindful of where my arms were. And then I went to get off, and for those of you that ride, I ride Western, so when I get off, you hold the saddle horn, swing your leg over, and hop down. And so I was just holding on to the saddle horn, and as I hit the ground, my arm was like yanked up just from muscle memory, and that really hurt. And fortunately, nothing tore open, nothing swollen, nothing started bleeding or anything. But yeah, it was painful. So it like right now, just going about my day, I don't feel any pain. I think it's painful. No, it's not painful even if I lift my arms. I can just feel them stretching, and it almost feels like if you're stretching a sore muscle, if that makes sense. Okay, how long did the process take? So from the time that I called the surgeon to when I actually had the surgery, it was about a year. So I started this whole process. Oh, it maybe even more than that. I think it was like last summer that I started the whole thing. So it was like almost a year and a half. Um, and then I had my consultation in April of this year, and then obviously I had the surgery in October. Um, do you keloid? I don't know how to pronounce keloid. I think I pronounced it correctly. I don't. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that's basically when if you have scar tissue, it'll like continue to grow, and then you have like this weird skin tag tumor looking thing. That's a very not medical explanation. I know that comes from like excess keratin or like collagen or something like that. I don't know. I would talk to your surgeon about that because that's something that I've never experienced and I never even thought about until somebody asked that question. But I'm sure if you talk to your surgeon, they can come up with a plan for that. And then I think maybe there's like supplements that you could take for that or something. I'm not entirely sure about that. How has it impacted your sleep? Um, So I said this in my previous video as well. I decided when I had surgery I wasn't going to try and keep the same sleep schedule. Oh, I love this question. There's so much I could say about this. But I decided, like, I'm throwing my sleep schedule out the window. I'm going to completely listen to my body. Whenever I feel like sleeping, I'm going to sleep. Whenever I feel like I'm awake, I'm going to be awake. And so for the first week, maybe not week, for the first 5 days, maybe, I would sleep for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I would wake up at like 11 p.m., stay up until 2 a.m., fall asleep again until like 9 a.m., and then I would take a nap in the afternoon. And that was just like what my body naturally wanted to do, so I just let it do that. Um, and I think for me at least, obviously, it's like you have to sleep in the same position and not move. So that was like my back would hurt and I would have to wake up and stand up or sit up or something. And then recently, I'm really frustrated with my sleep schedule. I'm trying to give myself grace and be like, I'm healing and stuff, and I need the extra sleep. I used to sleep like 7 hours a night and feel fine, and now my body wants to sleep. Like, I'll go to bed at 10 p.m. and wake up at 9:30 now. It's like, and I set my alarm every morning for like 6 a.m., which I used to get up at 5 every morning before surgery. I would get up at 5, go to bed at 9. But now I'm like going to bed at 10, waking up at 9:30, and it's really frustrating because I've never needed this much sleep. But I do honestly, like, I sleep through the night most of the time. I wake up at like 4 a.m. sometimes to go to the bathroom, but yeah, I recently I've been needing like 12 hours of sleep, and I don't know if that's because my body is still healing and it needs more sleep, or if it's because I'm not working out, because I feel like for me, working out and being really active throughout the day really helps regulate my sleep. Um, but yeah, now my body's just like, oh, we don't have to do shit. Whatever, I'm gonna sleep for 12 hours, which is really it's frustrating for me personally, but it's not too bad. And actually, just um, the past 2 days, I've been able to sleep on my side. Um, I don't know if I'm cleared to do that, but like it feels fine for my body to do that, and I just like do it really carefully and surround myself with pillows. Um, so yeah, and yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that. Good question. How do you get stuff off of high shelves? So the day before surgery, I took a bunch of snacks out of the cabinets and just basically like the stuff that I would need for the next 3 days. I took down from high places, and then obviously my ex-girlfriend was staying with me to help me out. Bless her. We love her. Um, what else? Oh yeah, and something else that was really helpful was I put a chair in my bathroom for like toilet paper and just like shower stuff. Um, and I don't know, it was just like nice to hold on to like get up off the toilet and stuff like that. And even now, I still like I'm moving my chairs around constantly to reach stuff because I still can't like reach really high. So yeah, I recommend like having a chair or a stool or something that you can use for the first few weeks after surgery because that's been really helpful. What items helped? So I am an underconsumption. I don't know what you would call it. I try to practice underconsumption. I'll say that. So I really didn't. I the only two things that I actually bought to prepare for surgery was a mastectomy pillow, which ugh, I have right here. It came with ice packs. Um, and you just kind of do this, which was really nice. And then this was awesome as well on the way home from the hospital because of the seatbelt. This was a nice protector. And then I also got like a pillow set, which I will, excuse me, I'll link both of those things down below. I got them both from Amazon. The pillow set was so helpful. I don't think I would have been able to sleep without it because it makes it really easy to like adjust your position, and you have to sleep with your chest elevated, obviously. But that made it nice because I got one that's like, it's like 4 different pillows and they kind of fit together like a puzzle. Again, I'll link it down below, but that was really nice to just be able to change my position a little bit while I'm sleeping so that I was more comfortable. And then I'm trying to think of anything else. A back scratcher would have been nice. Like one of those, the little, with like the bear claw on the end of it. That would have been really nice. And other than that, I didn't really need a lot. I feel like people get crazy about products with top surgery sometimes, and I think most things you can just like get at your house. Oh, the other thing I will say is, at least for me, the binders that the hospital gave me were really uncomfortable, and I still actually, wait, I can kind of show you. I still have blisters somewhere, I guess right here. You can't really see them, but I had blisters everywhere from the binders that they gave me, so I highly recommend Ace bandages, because then you have to bind for a certain amount of time after. Where's the Velcro? I don't know. These are Ace bandages. They're Velcro, and I used these. I just bought them myself because my binders were super uncomfortable, and they're way more comfortable to bind with, so I would really recommend those. And, I don't know. Other than that, I think you're good. You don't need to buy a bunch of stuff. That's what I would advise people. Don't buy a bunch of stuff because you're only going to use it once, and you're probably only going to have energy to just lie in bed. So, yeah. So make sure that you get, if you're going to spend money on anything, spend it on, like, a pillow set. That's what I would recommend. Do you, wait, how long did the surgery take? So for me, it took an hour and a half. They said that it was going to take 2 to 3 hours, but my man was speedy. Did you need a lot of help? I did for the first 3 days. Like, I couldn't do anything myself for the first 3 days. And then after that, it was fine. So, my ex stayed with me for, I think, 5 or 6 days. And then after that, I was pretty much good on my own. There were a few things that I couldn't do. Like, I think I asked her to come over to take out the trash because I couldn't, like, lift it out of the garbage bin. But yeah, other than that, like, after the first 5 or 6 days, I could pretty much do everything on my own. Obviously, I didn't have as much energy to do as much as I normally do, but I could, like I said, I could drag the chair around and like reach stuff high up and everything. So I was able to survive on my own, but I couldn't do like stuff that I normally do. Awesome. All right, so that is all the questions that I have. I appreciate everybody sending in questions, and I hope you found this helpful. I'm trying to think of what else I have to say. I don't know. I think in the future I'll probably do, like, I'm gonna make more content on getting back into the gym because I want to like put out as much information on top surgery as I can because I feel like I had a hard time finding the information that I really wanted on top surgery. So, yeah. So, anyway, and then all the content that I make based on top surgery, I really want it to be stuff that you guys are asking. So, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Like, I just want to use my experience to help other people and answer other people's questions because I know this is like a really big deal and a really big decision. So, I just want to be able to help you guys. But, yeah. Anyways, thank you all for your support. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you later. Goodbye!